It is February 17th, 2015, and before I start this video, I want to say if you are a male family member of mine, or like, yeah, you probably don't want to watch this video. So today, it's been so long since I've done a video, and for some reason, I feel the most inclined at this point to just start pushing them out, to just make one about menstrual cups. It's something I've been noticing more articles about, and things being brought up about it, and I kind of wanted to just weigh in and give my perspective on it. I have been using a Diva cup for almost a year now, and I was lucky because a friend of mine was able to give me hers. She had bought it, never used it, and then ended up, not needing it anymore, needing to use it. So she let me have it for free, and it was awesome because I didn't have to pay for it. From my understanding, they range from like $25 to about $45. I haven't heard of any being that more expensive than that, and most of them last a very long time, upwards of 20 years. And so what I've noticed since I've started using my cup is that I've had a perception of the fact that I bled a lot, and just based off of like how often I would need to change, my sanitary product. I never really used tampons, or I mean I didn't use them often. Definitely used more pads. And when I started using the cup, you're able to see just how much blood, like how much you bleed, like, oh, on your first day this much, or because I change mine roughly every 12 hours. Since I'm still pretty new with my cup, when it's my first day or so, I may check it maybe 3 times a day, but really not any more than that because I really don't need to. The Diva cup is fairly large. It's one of the larger cups, and it's never leaked on me because of having too much, overflowing. And that was always my fear in the very beginning, that, oh, it's going to overflow, I need to take it out, and check. And it's really not. I guess it's astonishing to me how much I spent on pads and tampons thinking I bled a lot, when the reality is not true. I mean, yes, there's a significant, yes, I bleed, but it's not as much as I thought. And I think it's probably just how it's distributed onto the pad. And so, yeah, so the cool thing is I can keep mine in for 12 hours. And that's obviously different than tampons. Tampons, you should be taking them out more frequently because you're also at greater risk of toxic shock and toxic shock syndrome. But I really like it because, so I'm not spending money on pads or tampons, and I feel a lot more sanitary. I don't feel so much as if I'm wearing, I don't know, I just never, many women just don't feel comfortable when they're on their period, it's not the greatest time. Like, oh, I just feel like I can run around and do all these awesome things, and so I don't really have that, and I don't really feel my cup when it's in. I can completely forget about it, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, I'm on my period, and I'm not just like, oh, I have to carry all this, I need to make sure that I have stuff on me. You worry sometimes, you're like, I hope I don't get anything on me. Like, the cup has been very, very incredibly dependable. And I feel like I'm a pretty active person. I take the bus often, so I'm walking. I'm walking around a lot, and not a problem. And then, okay, so another thing though that's kind of, I could see why people wouldn't like it or would be kind of strange, is if you're out and you're in a stall that is you're not in a personal bathroom, so you have multiple stalls, so you can't rinse your cup out before you put it back in. But it's not a huge deal. I've just found that, like, you know, you pour it out and just like wipe it out with tissue, you know, or your toilet paper, you know, and throw it in. And then when you can later, when you're at your house or wherever, you know, you take it out and you rinse it out. And then at the end of my cycles, I will, you know, I'll wash it really well, and then I've started to boil it every time for like 5 to 10 minutes. It's made out of like silicone, I believe. Yeah, so why, one of the things that I just found very, very interesting, and I'm gonna try to get the article, or I'll post the article that I'm talking about, but that in third world countries and in just places where there are more poor people, they've started to give out cups to women, and it's been a really positive experience, and it's a really like empowering thing, because now these women are being able to like take control of something that happens every month, but they may have not had the means to be sanitary, you know, like like these little girls having to stay home from school because they don't have anything to help protect them, you know, and you know, it's not sanitary, you know, and so they're staying home and missing school, and it's like, oh, now you have this will last you for a long time, you know, you don't have to worry about changing it out, you know, buying new ones all the time. And I just think that's really cool. And the idea of like, you know, for the homeless. And I mean, I've been in situations in my life that I am too poor and cannot buy pads or tampons. It was just realistic. So I would use a lot of toilet paper, or, you know, go to wherever, like if I was like at a McDonald's or something, just like take a whole bunch, or if I was ever in like some grocery store bathroom or something, just take a bunch of toilet paper. And I don't know, the idea of a diva cup, or a cup, period, and its ability to just like help people in those situations where they just may not have the means, I think is a really, really awesome thing. It's one of the reasons I was like, oh, I really want to make a video about this, just because I feel like, I don't know, some people haven't heard of them before. I remember I was very like, I was hesitant on it, and probably it would have taken me a long time to buy one if I ever would. And like, just my friend being able to be like, here, has really changed my perspective. And to my knowledge, at least with things that I've seen from the group that I'm in, that just like women being able to like ask questions about it, or, you know, talk to each other about like their experiences, it tends to be easier than cloth pads as well, just because the lack of having to wash them as often, you know, and how many cloth pads you need. But see, I can't really like speak too much about cloth pads. I think that's an awesome alternative, you know, to your regular pads or tampons that you have to throw away. I think it's a really good reusable option. But I think the cup is really cool, and just wanted to share my experiences with that. And so I guess if you have any questions you want to ask me, you're more than welcome to. I only know from my experience and things that I've read. Yeah, what do you think about reusable products like that? Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. One last thing. If there was a zombie apocalypse or something, I would definitely want a cup, you know? Because I just would. It just seems... I also want LASIK eye surgery, because I would be screwed, because I need my glasses or contacts, or I will die, 100%. I would not know if a person coming at me was a freaking zombie or like my friend. But for I think a cup would be awesome in the zombie apocalypse. Doomsday prepper ideas.